Oh, Clint!
Kent!
You know what? I'd come and shake your hand, but you're holding a snake, and
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but this one has some legs.
That animal has legs?
Yeah, do you
those
see
are
'em?
legs?
There's one right here, one right here.
Snakes don't have legs.
Well, here, come take a look at this one.
Not a snake.
Oh,
Huh. Kent, like a snake. You're already holding a snake? No, Clint tells me it's not a snake. And Clint's a PhD, which means he's a doctor, and people who work at the hospital never lie.
I didn't say it's not a snake.
Wait, now you're pulling a prank on me. You're doing a Halloween prank to make me think it is a snake that I'm holding, and it's a Halloween prank, right?
Well,
you know what? Why don't you take your not snake back? I have to go sit outside.
It was nice seeing you, Ken.
Hey, Kent.
Hi, Dave.
Did you see a snake?
I'm not sure. We're just getting into Clint's reptile room right now, and we're having breakfast and saying hi to people, meeting folks, things like that. And I have a video to shoot over the next 2 days, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what my video is gonna be. It's gonna be animals, and there's gonna be people. There's probably gonna be Garrett will probably be in my video. But I don't know what my video is going to be, so we'll see. Hey guys, it's me in the future. It's not technically future Bob, but it's just me a little bit in the future of this video. You might hear me earlier Bob, not past Bob, but earlier Bob, complaining about not having a video idea, not knowing what I'm shooting. Don't even worry about it. I got it figured out. It's handled. Don't worry about it. When you hear me complaining, just ignore that part. Remember when I said there'd probably be animals in this video? Well, here's one. Here's an example. Look, there's already animals in the video, you guys. We're already starting to figure out what the video is. This is Steven from Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong, and he's meeting a bull snake. Have you ever met a bull snake before?
I've never met any snake before.
Is this your first time holding a snake, Steven? This is amazing, and we're getting it on camera. Because it's not a dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm usually dealing with things that are either long dead or plastic.
Yeah, and this is neither dead nor plastic, fortunately. What do you think?
I think she's very charismatic.
Clint, this is Steven's first time holding a snake.
That fills me with unspeakable joy.
I got your phone unlocked, and now I'm giving you a whole bunch of footage you definitely don't need.
I'm an accomplice. Hello.
Ha! I am an evil best friend. Look, here's Leonard. Is he on the screen? Oh, here's Leonard. And Gus. And look, there's you. Oh, there you are, doing an interview with Bill.
Alex, what do you got there?
I've got a green killed belly lizard, which is basically, it's not a mini monitor, but it sure feels like it. They are such little sweethearts. Look at that, man.
What's your favorite animal in here?
It might be this one now.
Yeah?
I'm not gonna lie, it might be this. Or the little house snake back there. But
The house snakes are cool, right?
I'm falling in love with this girl here. Is this a girl?
Yep.
She's awesome.
Tell me something about you that your fans may not know.
When I grew up, I had pet eels. That's a good one. I had chinchillas, and my all-time favorite pet ever was a ferret. Because they look like snakes, but they act like cats. So they're like kind of a perfect middle
They do
ground.
look like snakes. I've never thought about that. They definitely do. Thanks, Alex.
This is such good breakfast. It's amazing.
Garrett Hartle with Reptile Reptiles. You just got a new hat, and I have hat envy, but we're not here to talk about that.
I want to take you to this hat shop. This place is lit.
It's great. It's like a block away.
Yes.
All right. So, first of all, tell me something about you personally that most people don't know.
Okay. Most people don't know that I actually grew up like on a horse ranch. So I grew up kind of cowboy. And even though my dad was a cowboy, I have pulled up a picture because you said you were going to do it. This is my dad on one of the horses that we trained. That's Rio. That's my dad.
So cool. Wow.
Pretty much like me with the snakes and alligators, him with the horses.
And with horses, yeah.
Yeah, so the hat comes very naturally.
Nice. Give me a little known fact about one of the species that's in here.
Okay, I can even go a little more specific than species. So Clint has a couple of super dwarfs for me, as do you.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way.
Right.
One of his females, Athena, was produced by parthenogenesis. That means she didn't have a dad, and the mom cloned her genetics, just boom, doubled up, and it made female snakes. So if you're smart, you might know that, parthenogenesis from the female side produces all female babies. That's one of the ways that we knew that she was parthenogenesis. They also do all homozygous. There is also, though, and here's advanced stuff for you, most snake breeders get this wrong. There's something called androgenesis, where the male's DNA gets into the female's gamete that is devoid of all, genetic material, and the males can clone themselves. So if a male clones them, if a female clones herself, she makes all females. If a male clones himself, what are the resulting babies?
I mean, I would think all males.
Most people do, and that's what the thing is. But XY chromosome is what determines sex. So XX is a female, XY is a male, YY is fatal.
Okay.
So if a male clones himself, half the babies die because they're YY, the other half are XX because it doubles. He throws X and Y. So he throws X, they double, XX is a female. So also all females.
Wow, that's really interesting. Thanks, Garrett.
The more you know.
Johnny Venom.
Yes.
Tell me, first of all, since we have the false water cobra, tell me a fact about any animal in this room that's commonly not known.
So this is going to be a fact about the false water cobra.
Oh, it is?
One of my favorite species.
What a
as you can
coincidence.
see. They are super intelligent and very interactive and personable.
Now, wait, this is something that you told, this is also my favorite non-python species,
Correct.
I think. And you told me this fact last night, and
Yes.
it blew my mind. I had no idea.
All right, so most people would think the snake's teeth would stop right about here. With this species, their jawline goes all the way back to here. Their rear fang is right here. They still have a line of teeth going all the way back to this jaw right here. And a prime thing to show you would be this picture right here. If you look, there's your rear fangs, and then a whole nother double row of teeth, like double the length there, all the way to the back of their mouth.
So this snake is middle fanged.
Yes.
Not rear fanged.
Yes.
Middle fanged. Now let's hear something about you that fans don't know. What's a fact about you?
I have severe social anxiety. I seem very outgoing in public, but I have severe social anxiety.
Really?
Yes.
I would not have guessed that.
Yes, very much
That's really
so.
interesting. Well, you're doing very well.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Johnny.
In my house and in my car. Star.
I'm trying to figure out how much of that I can have in my video before I get...
I'm not singing it well enough to get you demonetized.
Oh, good. Perfect. Okay. Brian Cusco.
Bob Bledsoe.
Thanks for joining me for this video.
Yeah.
Tell me something about yourself that your fans may not know.
I was the youngest member of the rock club. It was me at 7 years old and a whole group of senior citizens, and we go out on rock collecting adventures.
I thought it was like rock music.
Oh yeah, that would have been cooler maybe a little bit.
But still.
Like rock, like gemstones and just rocks.
Oh, I love it.
Actual rocks. When I was 7 years old, I was in that club.
That's fantastic.
Me and all the retired folks. That was it.
That's amazing. So,
That's also amazing.
Garrett Hartle, unbelievable.
He needs to get in the shot no
Like,
matter what.
really. I mean, we already did an interview with him. He already got attention, and now he's got to
He
get
needs more. It's the
more
hat.
attention.
You know, it's the hat.
It's
I
the
think we
hat.
should
He wants
probably
to
take
show
it.
off the hat.
We should
Yeah,
probably take it
yeah.
from him.
All right, now, back to the thing, the focus of the video. Tell me something about an animal in this room that's little known about that species.
Well, there are mostly reptiles in this room. Pretty much, except for right behind us here, mostly. But
Right.
I think
Some inverts
something-
behind us.
I'd still consider it a little known fact, unless you're an avid watcher of Clint's Reptiles. You might not know that most of these reptiles in this room share that reptile title with birds. It's something that I don't think anybody would agree with unless they've actually watched a Clint Reptiles video.
Right, which all of you have probably, but still, it does surprise people that aren't really in the know of reptiles and birds, and they don't consume that sort of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the most fascinating revelations that I've learned over the last several years.
Yeah, same. That's why it stuck out. Since we happen to be here, that's the one thing that I think if you talk to somebody outside of this room or people who watch videos in this room, nobody else would be like, oh, yeah, of course, birds, reptiles, yeah. So I'd consider it a little known fact.
Yeah, it is definitely a little known fact. Birds are reptiles. Thanks, Casco.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, it's time for a little known fact about me and about the reptile that I chose. And I'm going to do that as we scroll the horde of keepers over on Patreon. I really appreciate these guys, and I got to meet a number of them here at Clint's Reptile Room during the meet and greet. It was really fun. So anyway, little known fact about me is that I play instruments, as many of you know, but I didn't start until I was in my early 30s. I taught myself how to play ukulele, and then went on to mandolin and banjo and guitar. I'm not great at guitar. I'm not great at any of them, but guitar is probably my least good one. And then banjo, and then mandolin, and then ukulele. I'm best at ukulele because I've played it the longest. So, little known fact about an animal in here. Let's go with the Burmese python. And this is a debated fact about the invasive berms in the Florida Everglades. And that is that the reason that they are so invasive right now is not so much because people have released them into the wild, because people have released them into the wild since like the 1950s. All kinds of animals have been released into the wild, and there was very small populations. But the difference is that if somebody, the difference between this and what I'm going to talk about in a second is that if somebody just has a pet and goes, oh, it's too big, I'm going to release it, they release it in a random spot, and there's not a great chance that that Burmese python that was released is going to find a mate in that same area. But when Hurricane Andrew whipped through in the 1990s, that destroyed a very large breeding facility. So a huge population of large breeding animals were all released in the same area in the Everglades. And that's what boosted that population of berms in that area. So there is a problem with people releasing their animals, and I don't think they do it as much as they used to. It's kind of like littering. People don't litter as much as they used to, but it's not what caused the massive problem that they have right now. That problem was caused by Hurricane Andrew. I talked to a PhD biologist who specializes in invasive animals, and she confirmed this with me, that's her belief as well, that it was Hurricane Andrew. So there you go. Thanks so much to the Horde of Keepers over on Patreon. And special thanks to our channel sponsors, Black Box Cages, Lane Labs, the Royals Project, and Rare Genetics RGI. Really appreciate them. All right, let's get back to it. Our very own Amy Bentley from Green Room Pythons. Amy,
What's up?
Tell me something about that awful creature.
Well, it's a giant vinegaroon.
Yeah?
And even though it only looks like it has 6 legs, it is actually an arachnid.
It has 8 legs.
These little antenna-looking things are actually antenniform arms that they use like how a blind person would use a cane.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't see very well. So they grew these long antenniform arms, and they tippy-tap them.
Super gross. Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.
Now, tell us something about you. Now, the people who watch that channel know quite a bit about you, especially if they watch the live streams. What's something that they may not know?
I am a brown belt in Kempo karate.
Brown belt in karate. Is that the step right before black belt?
It goes brown, red, black. So I'm 2 belts away from black.
2 belts away. Amy Bentley is an adult who does karate.
Yes, I am.
There's not a lot of those, I feel like.
There's
not
more than you think there would be.
Really?
Yes.
Probably a whole group of them when you go to karate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.
Angel Island Chuckwalla.
Angel, this is different than, where's Angel Island?
In the Gulf of California, in between the 2 Mexicos.
Oh, we're rolling on this, yes? Okay, so that's a fact. Is that the fact that you wanted to tell us for the?
Sure.
What's the little known fact about this that you wanted to?
So these are endemic to Angel Island, which is in the north part of the Gulf of California, in between Baja and the mainland of Mexico.
Cool.
And we got to plan a trip to Angel Island and find these guys in the wild.
That'd be fun.
Let's do it.
I mean, look how docile.
Oh, these guys are just best.
He's just very
the
well
best.
socialized.
And they're big and they're chunky, just like us.
Love it. Amy Bentley, who's holding the camera right now, you might remember her.
Oh, yeah.
She and I tried so hard to pull a chuckwalla out of a rock in southern Utah. And it was about this size, and man, they're good at wedging themselves in rocks.
So what they'll do is they'll get in rocks, and then they'll like inflate their bodies like a balloon to wedge themselves in that crevice, and no predator can get them out.
We were the predator at that point, and we were not able to get them out, so that's true. Tell me something about you, Dave Kaufman, that the fans might not know.
So I was actually born in Russia, and my name there was David Boris Kaufmanov-Putin. And then we immigrated to this country.
It's just a waste of our time.
We were very, very poor and couldn't afford vowels, and that's why I spell my name without the E at the end.
Really sorry about this waste of time. This is really unfortunate.
This is true. Something about myself that maybe my fans don't know. I do have a degree in history where I graduated summa cum laude with a 4.0 GPA.
That is true. I know that.
And I was going to be a history professor at the university that I went to. The dean called me into his office right before I graduated and asked me to come back and be faculty.
Wow.
But I said, a life of teaching budding minds about history, very rewarding, very structured, or I could take that security and trade it for being a YouTuber.
Right.
Here's a fun fact about Dave Kaufman. He practices his smiles in the mirror.
Mariah from Reptifiles. Tell us something that the people who watch your channel might not know about yourself.
I have been practicing historical European martial arts for the last 7.5 years.
Whoa.
And my primary weapon is German longsword. And I have won bronze in the women's longsword tournament at Combat Con.
Wow. That kind of doesn't surprise me. It's really impressive, but I kind of feel like that's totally you. Of course you did.
The winning part or just the sword part?
The whole thing, the whole situation.
The winning surprises me.
Let's talk about reptiles. What's a fact about a reptile in this room, the species, that people may not know?
All right, so I've got a good one about emerald tree monitors.
This guy right here.
So these guys are one of the very few reptiles that actually intentionally use their digits. So it's more than just something that they use to climb or to dig. If you give them like a container with a hole in it and a bug on the inside, they'll use their finger to try to scoop the bug out.
Whoa.
And they do this in the wild to dig bugs out of bark and trees and stuff.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
It's really fascinating. It makes a great enrichment activity for them.
That's a really good one. Thanks, Mariah.
Here's a fun fact about Mariah. We have matching earrings.
You stepped in your water dish. Does that mean that you're going to be all wet? You're going to be all wet? Look at Gus Gus. Zach from A Life Exotic. Tell me something interesting about yourself that people who watch your channel might not know.
I actually do a lot more than just reptiles and animals. I used to be really into Harley Davidsons and building custom motorcycles and do a lot of other wildlife stuff aside from the greenhouse.
That's cool. That's cool. So the greenhouse, you have a massive greenhouse.
Yeah.
That is basically its own jungle in there, right?
Yep, basically.
And a lot of your videos are about that greenhouse. That's cool. Tell me something. We're doing one little trivia thing about the animals in here, the species in here. What's a bit of trivia for you?
Yeah, so one thing is you can actually cohab certain species of animals if done properly. That is the big caveat. That's kind of one thing we're testing out and proving with the greenhouse, is that things can be cohabbed without aggression issues, without things killing each other. But you can't do it in a little 3-foot cage.
You're not doing it in a cage.
A big space where you can replicate microclimates, you can replicate multiple hiding spots in different temperatures. So it's really hard to do in a small cage, but it is possible, and there is ways to do it.
The greenhouse, would you say the greenhouse is like half the size of Clint's reptile room?
It's probably almost the size of Clint's reptile room.
Almost
it's like
the size. It's how many square feet?
I think about 680 square feet, something like that.
Okay.
And it's about as tall as this, too.
And you've got a stream running through that. You've got water feature.
Yep. So we've got a big 2,000-gallon pond with like peacock bass, silver arowana, tigrinus catfish, freshwater rays. And we've also got a separate stream running through that we plan on breeding Adelopus and some of the frogs in eventually. But we have a few cool community fish in there. We have some Amazon puffing snakes, some emerald tree skinks, some grass lizards, some poison dart frogs. We got the whole family in there. It's a replication of a neotropical rainforest.
So if your cage is over 600 square feet, go ahead and cohab your animals.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out the species. You're doing it right. You know which ones are going to do well with
Even
others.
with the snakes, like we had to really, it was hard to find a species of snake that was going to work good with it, you know. But the puffing snakes is subadults and adults. They do not eat lizards and frogs. They have zero interest in them. So they do great in there with the lizards and frogs.
Right. Perfect. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, of course.
Clint L Law.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us, first of all, give me an interesting fact about you that most people don't know.
An interesting fact about me that most people don't know. I really love mountain biking.
Oh, really?
It's one of my favorite activities. And I all of my kids have started riding a two-wheel bicycle before their 3rd birthday. So while they're still 2 years old, they're riding a bicycle with no training wheels.
Wow.
And we go mountain biking quite a bit as a family, and it's really, really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had no idea. That's cool. Okay, now, give me a little-known fact about one of the animals in Clint's reptile room.
This is a little-known fact I wish was more broadly known, but it's something that I've only just been discovering over the last few years. But that is that common snapping turtles, which are probably the most feared and hated of all North American turtles.
Because they can do a lot of damage to a person.
Can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
If you interact with them in a way that doesn't hurt them, they very, very quickly become some of the most delightful reptiles you could ever interact with. They're curious, they'll walk right up to you, they will crawl into your lap.
Wow.
But the way that we normally handle them, I'm becoming increasingly convinced, is either painful or otherwise very distressing for them. And just like if you took your pet snake, any pet snake, and you just pinched it real hard every time you got it out, it would be a very defensive, very bitey snake. I think that's what we usually do to snapping turtles.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. That's cool. Thanks, Clint.
Of course. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for being here.
Man.
It was great seeing Kent earlier, by the way.
Yeah, he's, I think, still outside on the sidewalk.
I
sorry
love him.
about that.
I love him. I'm sorry I scared him off.
Yeah. This is fantastic. I love coming here, and you're a great host.
Well, thank you so much.
You and Alicia are a great host, because I know she does a lot of the work, too.
She does so much, and it means the world to us that you come.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here.
Thanks, my friend.
You've made this amazing.
This has been an epic adventure. I knew it was going to be amazing. Clint and Alicia are such great hosts. They did this event even bigger this year than they did it last year. And, you know, I always have a blast just hanging out with my friends who are other creators, YouTube people that live in other parts of the country. And it's fun to get together, especially at a place like this with hosts like Clint and Alicia. Thanks so much to them. Thanks to you for watching this video. I'll see you next week.